Let me begin with something that could surprise you, gentlemen. Millions of American men over 60 pour themselves a cup of coffee every morning, drink it, and unwittingly lose the most potent chance they have to resurrect their masculinity. Yes, even if you are far into your 70s or 80s, I'm referring to erections that are stronger and stay longer. What if the cup you've been drinking for decades had the power to either make you feel weaker or restore your sense of self? Dr. Mohit Kaira is my name. I have over 30 years of experience as a urologist and men's health professor, and I have devoted my life to assisting men in regaining their confidence, strength, and energy. In my office, I've sat across from thousands of men who believed their best days were over, and I've helped them find answers that completely changed their lives. This is the startling reality. Most men believe that a drop in performance is unavoidable. They attribute it to poor luck, stress, or aging. However, this is the true paradox. Some of the most effective solutions are already in their kitchen, despite the fact that many men turn to costly procedures, drugs, or surgery. And this is what I've promised you. You may significantly increase testosterone, enhance blood flow, and restore erections in a safe, long-lasting, and natural way by adding just one easy, natural ingredient to your coffee. This is not a theory. Research and decades of results in actual men have demonstrated that it is science. So stay tuned, because I'm going to tell you precisely what to put in your morning cup and why it can help your body function better even if you're 80 years old. To ensure you don't miss any of my upcoming tips on men's health and vitality, please subscribe and hit the notification bell before we begin. I would also be delighted to hear from you. If this message resonates with you, please leave a comment. Type 0 if it doesn't, and tell me how I can improve these films for you. Let's now explore the true cause of the weaker erections that so many guys over 60 experience. Age isn't the only factor. It's what's taking place within your body. To really address the issue, we need to know what's subtly altering your biology and why erections wane with age. 1. Why erects fade with age? One of the first questions I get from guys when I sit across from them in my office is, "Doctor, why is this happening to me? Why does something that used to feel so natural suddenly become difficult for me after all these years?" And I say the same thing to them every time. It's not abrupt. For decades, it has been gradually accumulating inside your body. Two significant changes are already underway by the time you turn 60. First, compared to your 20s, your testosterone levels have decreased by over half. Testosterone is the hormone that gives men their energy, drive, and performance capacity. Second, as you age, the blood arteries that provide vital circulation to your brain, heart, and yes, even your penis, have become more rigid. The key difference is that they are no longer as adaptable or responsive as they once were. Consider it this way. Your body functioned like a high-pressure garden hose when you were younger. Every nook and cranny was filled with the swift and forceful flow of water. Because of the robust blood flow and responsive tissues, erections were effortless. But that hose gets old, stiff, and leaky as you get older. Weaker, less durable erections are the result of the water trickling rather than surging. Or nothing at all sometimes. This has to do with biology, not willpower or desire. The part that most men never hear is this one. The body starts a cycle of decline as those arteries constrict and testosterone levels drop. Less blood flow results in weaker erections, less testosterone means less muscle and vitality, and eventually a man may feel like a shell of his former self. One patient in particular, a grandfather who was 67 years old, visited me. "I simply don't feel like a guy anymore," he muttered as he sat there in silence. Furthermore, I could tell by the look in his eyes that this was more than just sex. It dealt with identity, self-assurance, the spark that gives you life, and the reality of pain. Nevertheless, I warned him, and I'll tell you now, that biology is subject to influence. Failure is not fate. If you provide the proper nourishment and support, your body can still react in a spectacular way. The good news is that you can begin turning things around without a prescription. The coffee you consume every morning can be used as a tool to assist your hormones and restore circulation. You may open up blood flow, relax those stiff arteries, and provide your body with the necessary nutrients to feel powerful once again by incorporating the appropriate natural substances. Even if you're well into your 70s or 80s, it can still work since it's easy and natural. Now that you know why erections wane with age, allow me to demonstrate how, when you discover its hidden potential, something as commonplace as your daily coffee may become amazing. 2. Coffee, the hidden potential. Without thinking twice, men all around this nation pour themselves a cup of coffee every morning. For a lot of us, it comes naturally. The first taste that wakes you up, the steam rising from the cup, the scent of those new grinds. It keeps us going and feels like a daily habit. Men at my workplace have told me, "Doctor, I could give up almost anything, but not coffee." And because I get it, I always smile. The same as how I begin my day. Coffee offers us the energy we've been relying on for decades, wakes up the brain, and improves concentrate. However, most men are unaware of this. Coffee alone is just meeting half of the task. Indeed, coffee momentarily improves circulation. Indeed, it can provide you with a mental advantage. However, just drinking ordinary coffee is like pressing the accelerator on a car that hasn't been tuned in years. Yes, you will see a brief acceleration, but the fundamental engine issues will persist, and you will burn out shortly. In an attempt to get that fleeting high, many men find themselves reaching for a second cup by mid-morning and a third in the afternoon. In actuality, black coffee is similar to ordinary gasoline in a high-performance vehicle. It functions, but it doesn't provide the high-end performance your body now requires as you get older. The paradox is this: coffee has so much more potential. That identical cup might become a strong health tool that supports your blood vessels, protects your heart, and boosts your erections with only a small adjustment. Take a moment to consider that. One of the most annoying issues men encounter after the age of 60 may have a natural, scientifically supported remedy in the very beverage you currently enjoy every morning. It's not fantasy. That is actual physiology that is just waiting to be discovered. With my patients, I have personally witnessed it. After years of battling, a guy in his 70s told me that he started adding a single, natural ingredient to his daily coffee. Within weeks, he reported feeling more confident in the bedroom and having more energy. He felt more in control of his body, was no longer nervous, and was not collapsing by noon. He felt hopeful again because of that minor alteration, which also served as a reminder to me that even the simplest changes can have the greatest effects. Coffee need not only be a habit. It may serve as a means of recovery and reconciliation. It's already in your life, it's familiar, and it's reasonably priced. All you need to do is know what to put in it to make it more than just a drink. It turns into a partner in your manhood, power, and well-being. The best aspect is that you can notice the difference right away. You don't need to wait months or years. Let's now reveal the first component that can transform your typical cup of coffee into a remarkable source of energy for your body and erections. Despite being utilized for centuries, most men totally ignore this substance. 3. Cinnamon, the vessel healer, is the first ingredient. I can still smell the aroma of cinnamon coming from the kitchen as I go back to my early years. Its delicious, comforting perfume filled the entire house when my mother mixed it into a pie or sprinkled it over warm porridge. For many of us, the taste of cinnamon is associated with happy memories, family get-togethers, and holidays. However, most men are unaware that this common spice has a hidden power, one that can balance your energy levels, shield your blood vessels, and even help you get powerful, long-lasting erections again. This is why it's important. Unstable blood sugar is one of the greatest threats to men's health as they age. Your body's small blood vessels are harmed by each surge and collapse in blood sugar, and the first to suffer are frequently the tiniest, most vulnerable vessels, those found inside the penis. Damage to these vessels, which are smaller than a human hair, reduces circulation to that area long before problems with your larger arteries become apparent. For this reason, erectile dysfunction frequently occurs in men with blood sugar problems years before they are diagnosed with diabetes. Cinnamon acts as a protector. Research has demonstrated that it can reduce fasting blood sugar by up to 20 to 30%. Additionally, that one effect safeguards the fragile vessels that support your masculinity. Cinnamon, however, has far more uses. Through a process known as vasodilation, it facilitates the relaxation and opening of your blood vessels. The very molecule that pharmaceutical medications like Viagra are intended to target, nitric oxide, is actually increased by the active ingredient cinnamonaldehyde. An increase in nitric oxide promotes blood flow. Additionally, erections get stronger, fuller, and more consistent when blood flow improves. Patients have told me that they experienced a noticeable change in the bedroom and more consistent energy throughout the day after just a few weeks of adding cinnamon to their morning coffee. One man, a retired contractor in his late 50s, told me how he went from needing a nap in the afternoon to using his steady hand to blast through his assignments. Another advantage of cinnamon is that it increases circulation and taste. Your body is reacting to increased blood flow with that mild, warming sensation. The best thing about it is that you don't need much. All it takes to start this process is a 1/4 teaspoon swirled into your coffee. The secret is to be consistent and incorporate it into your daily routine so that your energy remains steady, your vessels remain protected, and your confidence starts to grow again. There is more to cinnamon than just spices. It's a tasty, inexpensive, and self-care practice that combines millennia of knowledge with contemporary scientific evidence. Imagine going a step further and adding that warm spice with another natural element that helps your blood flow and activates your body's erection master switch. Let's discuss cocoa. 4. Second ingredient, cocoa, the nitric oxide switch in nature. The comforting qualities of chocolate are practically universal. Perhaps it was the piece of dark chocolate you occasionally reach for as a treat, or the candy bar you lusted over as a boy. Warmth and memories are evoked by that deep, slightly bitter flavor. But many men are unaware of this fact. There is an amazing secret hidden beneath that well-known taste. Dark, rich, and sugar-free, pure, unsweetened cocoa is one of nature's most potent remedies for erections and blood flow restoration. Flavonoids, which are substances that directly affect the lining of your blood arteries, are abundant in cocoa. Nitric oxide, the most crucial molecule for erections, is released when these flavonoids are present. Nitric oxide can be thought of as your artery's open sesame signal. When levels are high, circulation improves, blood vessels widen, and blood enters the penis more readily. Low levels cause vessels to remain rigid and tight, making it impossible for the body to react, regardless of how much desire you feel. Drugs specifically target this route, whereas cocoa enables you to naturally promote the same reaction. One patient of mine, who was in his early 70s, had all but given up on intimacy. He was worn out, ashamed, and reluctant to talk about his difficulties when he came to me. I recommended that he begin incorporating 1 teaspoon of unprocessed cocoa powder into his daily cup of coffee. He came back with a smile I will never forget a month later. "I feel like someone flicked a switch inside of me, Doc." Nitric oxide does just that. It turns the master switch that drives erections, and one of the easiest and safest methods to boost it is with cocoa. However, cocoa has advantages beyond its health benefits. It also contains mood-enhancing substances like phenylethylamine, which is released when we fall in love, and anandamide, which is sometimes referred to as the bliss molecule. Men frequently undervalue the role that the mind plays in performance. Your body responds when you feel more at ease, upbeat, and connected. You can see why this little addition works so well when you combine it with the magnesium that is rich in cocoa and helps muscle function and testosterone synthesis. The flavor alone elevates your coffee to a unique level, delivering a richness akin to a mocha without the added sugar of hot chocolate. Additionally, you can use a drop of natural sweetener, such as stevia or monk fruit, to lessen the bitterness if it seems too intense at first. The idea is that, in addition to having a more fulfilling cup, you're signaling your body to awaken, to unblock the channels that have been shutting as you age, and to strengthen your fundamental manhood. Cocoa has a deeper effect than cinnamon in keeping your vessels stable and healthy. It turns on the very system that makes those vessels wide open. As potent as it is, there is another element that has been valued for ages in the Peruvian highlands. It is said to restore desire, drive, and endurance. Now let's talk about the Andean secret, maca. 5. Third ingredient. The Andean secret is maca. For ages, local farmers and herders have treasured a modest root that grows high in the chilly, thin air of the Andes Mountains. That root is called maca, and it is discussed with a certain respect in Peru. They refer to it as the natural Viagra because it wakes something deeper within the male body, rather than because it functions similarly to a pill. How a plant that grows at approximately 14,000 feet in soil where hardly anything else survives could have such power and persistence captivated me when I first learned about maca. And I noticed that my patients exhibited those same traits when I started recommending it to them. Your body doesn't have to react to maca. It helps it to recall what it is already capable of. Maca functions by promoting the delicate balance of your hormones, as opposed to synthetic medications that temporarily increase blood flow. It assists in reestablishing a natural rhythm by interacting with the pituitary gland and hypothalamus, which are the master regulators of your endocrine system. This implies that your energy levels, testosterone levels, and long-dormant desire can all start to rise again. Men in their 60s and 70s have told me that they experience the feeling as a constant flame that is rekindled every week, rather than as a sudden shock. This is supported by the research. In one study, after just 12 weeks, men who took about 2.4 grams of maca per day, roughly a teaspoon, reported improvements in their sexual function and desire. A different study discovered increased motility and sperm count, which are unmistakable indicators that the body's reproductive machinery was functioning more efficiently. Perhaps the most remarkable finding, though, is the number of men who report mental clarity, improved attention, and an improvement in mood in addition to physical advantages. "Doctor, it feels like someone turned the lights back on in my head," said one of my patients, a former teacher. "Not just in the bedroom, but in every room. That kind of transformation adds depth to life." Different types of maca are available. The most popular kind of maca is yellow, which has a light taste and a modest impact. Red maca is frequently commended for promoting prostate health, which is something that all older men ought to think about. Additionally, black maca is regarded as the powerhouse, significantly increasing energy and stamina. A teaspoon added to your coffee, especially when combined with cocoa, gives it a nutty, somewhat malty flavor that many men find appealing. The fact that maca is an adaptogen, that is, it helps your body adjust to stress instead of then forcing it in one direction, is what I adore most about it. This type of support is crucial in a world when men over 60 are constantly under pressure from their jobs, families, and health. It develops resilience in the same manner that the mountain itself does. Cocoa triggered the nitric oxide switch, cinnamon repaired the vessels, and now maca boosts your hormones and motivation. However, what if I told you that there is a substance that gives your body the raw material it needs to produce testosterone itself, in addition to supporting hormones? Now let's discuss coconut oil. 6. Fourth ingredient. The hormone fuel is coconut oil, also known as MCT oil. Many males were advised for years to avoid fat people. Whole generations of men were raised to fear butter, oils, and anything fatty, and low-fat diets were promoted as the secret to good health. Here's the irony, though. Fats and cholesterol are the building blocks of testosterone, the hormone that gives men a sense of vitality. Your body is deprived of the essential nutrients it requires to maintain your strength, vitality, and sexual ability without them. For this reason, I frequently grin when I tell my patients that one of the easiest methods to support their manhood could be to add a spoonful of coconut oil to their daily coffee. Because of its high content of medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs, coconut oil is unique. The long-chain lipids included in the majority of meals are not like these. MCTs goes directly to the liver, where they are swiftly transformed into energy, bypassing the lengthy digestive process. Imagine them as high-quality gasoline that powers the body almost instantly and burns cleanly without clogging the system. According to studies, men who take MCTs may have a 20% increase in testosterone levels when compared to those who ingest other fats. Better energy, a more stable mood, and enhanced performance in every way are all associated with higher testosterone levels. A man in his late 60s once walked into my office looking worn out. He claimed that he felt like he was dragging his body through the day, despite the fact that he was still working part-time and had obligations. I suggested that he try bulletproof coffee, which is coffee that has been combined with coconut oil. When he returned a month later, the change was obvious. He felt no collapse after breakfast, his energy was constant throughout the morning, and he grinned when he acknowledged that intimacy with his wife had subtly eased once more. A straightforward dietary adjustment can have that kind of impact. When hot coffee is blended with oil, a rich, creamy beverage akin to a latte is produced. Because the fat slows down the absorption of caffeine, you experience a gradual release of energy over hours rather than a sharp spike and eventual crash. While some men find it simpler to digest to start with half a teaspoon of coconut oil and work their way up, others prefer to use pure MCT oil, which is even more concentrated. The result is the same in either case. You're giving your body the exact building blocks it needs to continue producing testosterone. The idea that something as basic as oil, which has long been misinterpreted, can be such a potent ally for a man's health is astounding. Despite its effectiveness in directly boosting hormones, another component has a completely distinct mechanism of action. Along with boosting your circulation, it not only supports testosterone, but also shields the glands that make it. Let's discuss ginger. 7. Fifth ingredient, ginger, the circulatory enhancer. Ginger has a strong, warming bite that leaves a lasting impression. Perhaps you've tasted it in Christmas cookies that added a little additional spiciness, sipped it in tea when you weren't feeling well, or grated it over a dish. But for good reason, ginger has been valued in traditional medicine for thousands of years, even beyond its taste and comfort. The knowledge of our forebears is now supported by modern science. Ginger can increase testosterone, reduce inflammation, and expand blood vessels. This results in stronger erections, increased vitality, and improved circulation for men over 60. Ginger functions in a variety of ways. It enhances blood flow, first. Its active ingredients, shogols and gingerols, relax blood vessels and cause them to widen. Your heart, brain, and yes, your masculinity all benefit from open blood flow. There's more to the feeling of warmth you get from drinking ginger tea or adding it to meals than meets the eye. It's because your blood flows through your body more effectively. This straightforward spice can have a significant impact on erectile dysfunction in individuals who suffer from circulation-related problems. The true surprise, though, is how ginger boosts and preserves testosterone. The testicles, which produce testosterone, are susceptible to oxidative damage, heat, and pollutants. These stressors have the potential to weaken the cells that produce hormones over time. Ginger protects them. Consuming ginger on a regular basis has been shown to dramatically increase testosterone levels. In one study, it increased by about 18% in just 3 months. It accomplishes this by lowering oxidative stress, which gradually inhibits your testicles' ability to produce more testosterone, and by raising luteinizing hormone, the messenger that instructs them to do so. One patient I remember was a quiet man in his mid-60s who acknowledged that he had taken nearly every supplement with little to no success. If he wanted something more convenient, I advised him to try putting a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger powder or some fresh ginger slices in his morning coffee. Weeks later, he returned with a brighter smile and a firmer handshake. "Doctor, I feel stronger, warmer, and more awake," he said. My wife saw it before I did, and it served as a reminder to me of the impact even seemingly insignificant daily decisions may have. Ginger's adaptability is what makes it so lovely. While powdered ginger contains more concentrated chemicals for long-term benefits, fresh ginger gives volatile oils that provide an instant circulation boost. While some guys like the easiness of powder, others like the kick of fresh. In any case, it is safe, reasonably priced, and has been used for thousands of years in medicine. So picture this. You've included coconut oil to boost testosterone, maca to restore drive, cocoa to activate nitric oxide, and cinnamon to protect your arteries. You're boosting circulation and protecting the core of your masculinity with ginger. The next question is, how can you implement all of this without feeling overburdened? Together, let's create a straightforward plan that every man may adhere to. 8. After going over each of these potent components, I want to take a moment to address a common thought that many men have at this point: how to put it all together without making your life too complicated. Doc, this sounds fantastic, but should I transform my kitchen into a research lab each morning? The truthful response is no. These natural instruments have the advantage of not requiring costly equipment or difficult procedures. They need consistency. The advantages accumulate over time when you figure out how to incorporate them into your daily schedule in an easy-to-manage manner. You begin to feel genuinely different, stronger, more self-assured, and more alive at that point. My first advice to guys is to start small and choose one item, such as cinnamon. It's simple, tastes wonderful, and starts helping your circulation and blood sugar right away. It only takes a few seconds to whisk a quarter teaspoon into your daily coffee, but the effects build up over time. You can add chocolate layers once you're at ease. Your coffee is now actively boosting nitric oxide, turning on the switch for improved blood flow, and it's no longer merely a wake-up beverage. By adding Maca or coconut oil each week, you create a cup that not only gives you energy in the morning, but also sustains your body and your manhood over time. A man in his 70s who was one of my patients began with only cinnamon. He added cocoa 2 weeks later. He tried Maca 3 times a week after a month. "I haven't felt this stable in years, Doc," he told me at the conclusion of the second month. My performance, my attention, and my vitality are all returning. It doesn't have to be overpowering. That's the power of layers. Not every day will require all 5 elements. In actuality, too much can occasionally be difficult to digest. Rather, consider it the process of creating your own formula. On certain mornings, it might be chocolate. On other days, ginger and maca. When you have a little more time, you may make a rich, creamy latte by blending coffee with coconut oil, cinnamon, chocolate, and ginger. This will not only taste amazing, but it will also nourish your body in ways that regular coffee cannot. Progress, not perfection, is the aim. You'll also see consistent changes when you allow your body time to adapt. Stronger energy, more clarity in thought, better mornings, and yes, firmer erections. Recall that decline need not be accepted as a natural part of aging. Making these simple, everyday decisions can transform your morning routine into one of your life's most effective health habits. Even though we've finally pieced everything together, there's one last thing you should know. It's one thing to comprehend the science, but it's quite another to understand why this is important to men emotionally. Next, let's discuss it. 9. Why this is important for more than just erections. When we discuss erections, it's simple to assume that the focus is solely on bedroom performance. However, I can assure you that this is about much more than sex, as I have repeatedly witnessed in my decades of working with guys. The body uses erections as a report card. They provide information on the condition of your heart, blood arteries, hormones, and even your brain. It's rarely merely desire when they vanish. It's frequently the first indication that your body is subtly requesting assistance, that circulation is faltering, and that your energy levels are dropping. One patient, who was in his late 60s, appeared dejected when he first arrived. "It's not only about not being able to perform, Doc," he told me. "It's because I no longer feel like myself. I'm not feeling very strong. I am not confident." And I got what he was saying exactly. For men, being a man involves more than just being physically strong. It's about knowing that you still have vitality to impart, feeling capable of defending those you love, and waking up in the morning with a purpose. Life loses some of its color when those emotions fade. Because of this, adding ginger, coconut oil, maca, cinnamon, and cocoa to your regular coffee does more than just help erections come back, even at 80. It's about reminding yourself that you still have the capacity for development, fortitude, and rejuvenation. These components do more than simply widen blood vessels. Better energy, increased focus, and a stronger sense of connection with those who are most important to you are all made possible by them. Additionally, a man who feels stronger in his body carries himself differently, laughs more readily, faces obstacles with greater assurance, and rediscovers the joy of intimacy fearlessly. I have witnessed men who believed their prime years were over undergo a complete metamorphosis after realizing that aging need not be a given. That feeling of being totally present and that spark of life can reappear and endure. Every day, your morning coffee serves as a reminder that you are not helpless, that little decisions can have a big impact over time, and, perhaps most importantly, that you are worthy of respect. It serves as a means of telling your body and mind that you are not done yet and that you still matter. Therefore, this is about identity, pride, and emotional health in addition to circulation, hormones, and biology. Because a man not only restores his body, but also his life when he feels whole again. And now that we've discovered the profound significance of this journey, it's time to integrate everything. At the end, I'll demonstrate for you exactly how to apply this understanding to take long-lasting action, allowing you to proceed with renewed strength, clarity, and confidence. 10. In conclusion, big long-term effects from small daily decisions. Gentlemen, this conversation has taken us on a long journey together. We began with the straightforward reality that time has gradually eroded what can be restored by simple coffee. But you can make your morning cup much more potent by adding a few natural, scientifically supported ingredients: ginger, coconut oil, maca, cocoa, and cinnamon. These are all fuels, not just flavors. Cinnamon protects those fragile vessels and helps to stabilize blood sugar. The nitric oxide switch that regulates blood flow is flipped by cocoa. Maca gently restores the balance of your hormones by speaking directly to them. By providing your body with the necessary building blocks, coconut oil promotes the production of testosterone. Additionally, ginger protects the very glands that keep you a man while igniting the fire of circulation. This has nothing to do with magic pills or quick fixes. Respect is at issue. Respect for the years you've worked for, respect for your health, and respect for your body. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s realize that by making small, everyday changes, they can regain their strength, energy, and yes, erections. It's not the spectacular overnight fix that so many advertisements claim. Instead, one morning at a time, your vitality is reconstructed steadily and dependably. And because it endures, that is more potent in many respects. I'll tell you the truth. As a physician, this strikes a deep chord with me. We all grow when we share. So please share what you learned today and what change you're ready to make in the comments box below. Let's support each other. If you found this video useful, or if it even slightly opened your eyes, please click the like button. To be sure you don't miss any information that could change your health, click subscribe. Before you go, ring the bell. If this video was helpful, please enter 1. If not, enter 0. You might not be aware of the significance of your comment, because I know we've accomplished more than just treating a symptom when a man says he feels like himself again, that he's laughing more, working harder, or holding his wife's hand with a new spark. We have assisted him in taking back a portion of his life, and we all want that, don't we? To feel capable, alive, and connected, regardless of the number of candles on the birthday cake. This is my challenge to you then. Keep in mind our conversation when you pour that cup of coffee tomorrow morning. Begin with a single ingredient. Wait a couple of weeks. Observe your body's reaction. Next, include another. Create your own formula that complements your individual path. Your body still has the capacity to do amazing things. It just requires the correct fuel. Remain persistent, patient, and optimistic. You're not done yet, gentlemen. With that small decision in your morning cup, you can still have your best days ahead of you.